Hey guys, welcome to Coffee Combos. Hey Lindsie.
Hey Kail. How are you?
I'm good. I'm well.
I am well too. I am cozy and ready to chat.
We have a lot to talk about today.
We do.
First of all, June is Pride Month, which is super important to me. So I'm just reiterating this because we're in Dallas and I know it's Pride weekend here. It's Pride weekend in New Jersey this weekend also. So
does everywhere do like different weekends, but only in the month of June?
I think it is just June, actually.
Okay. I mean, it would make sense since it's
But like
Pride
some
month.
cities have it on the same weekend because obviously like there's only 4 weekends in a month.
Yeah.
So yeah, I believe so.
So how many Prides have you been to?
I've only been to one.
And where was that?
In New Jersey.
Is that where you met Dom?
Dom met me.
Or Dom.
She saw me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went with Becky. That was, yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
Great times.
That is the Pride that is this weekend, but I'm not going.
Okay.
So.
But you were going to go to Pride in Dallas.
Yes. So anyway, that being said, we have my friend Ragan on the podcast today who I will introduce. So Ragan, thank you for joining the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I think that I met Ragan through social media.
Yeah, it was Twitter.
Yeah, I found you. I don't know. I feel like social media and especially the gay community also is just like so intertwined on social media.
It's like so big. I feel like it's really big on Twitter out of any social media.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, I felt compelled to like follow her and your story. And so.
Wait, back up. Did you like see a tweet that somebody had like retweeted?
Yeah.
I think it was a video or a picture.
I will
explain this intertwinedness on Twitter.
You can explain it because
I really don't know because I like looked and saw like the blue check mark. So I was like, who is this? And then I went to your page because I always do that. Any blue check mark person.
Anybody that's verified.
Verified.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went and clicked on it. I was like, actually, no, this is. Because usually I'm like, who is this? Some artist I've never even heard of or whatever. Yeah. But I was like, oh, wow, like that's weird. And I followed you back. And I don't know.
I had seen some videos that you were in on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah. And
that's
so
weird.
I was just like...
Kail's like big into YouTube and like I don't even know anything about the YouTube world. So you're going to have to expose me to this.
The YouTubers know each other somehow, some way. It's like a whole
It's like
community.
reality TV personalities, but like for YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I found I found Ragan on social media and I like fell in love with her whole story. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And then when I came to Dallas in February, we met up and got together and we went and had drinks.
Yeah, and we had so much fun.
We really did. And then
like,
I
go there like every week, not literally, but I go there often because that's the gay strip in Dallas. And like when Kail was out here, that was like one of the most fun times that I've had out there.
It was a good time.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, so Kail is like much more adventurous when it comes to like meeting up with people and stuff than I ever would. Like I wouldn't, even if it was like another verified person, I probably would never even meet up with them at like a bar or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, because I felt like I trusted
It's just like
her.
weird. Like I'm just weird.
I don't meet up with a lot of people online unless I really feel like a slight connection with you.
Yeah.
She said that with like the most disgusted look on her face. Like slight connection.
Just a little.
But it felt natural to me. I felt like it was like
for sure. It felt like I knew you forever.
And then the next month, she came to my surprise party and stayed at my house.
Oh my gosh. See, Kail's just like a whole different breed of person than me. I'm like, no, not even my family.
I've never even been to your house.
Not even my family staying at my house.
That's so funny.
That's so funny. And she's like, whoever wants to come.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably why this duo works because we're like complete
y'all like level each other out.
Yes.
You know, yeah. Because if y'all were the same, it would be like, I don't know.
But there was another YouTube couple or YouTuber, they met up with us as well. So it was like their names are Nick and Leslie, and Ragan already knew Nick, and we're going to have her on the podcast later about her adoption story.
I love it.
Yeah. So the YouTube world is so like interconnected. It's crazy.
So wait a minute. You need to catch me up to speed, Ragan, because I don't know about your whole story, and I just want to know like all the things. So spill the beans.
I like don't even know where to start, honestly, but what is it exactly that you're interested in? Like
everything, just like how you started YouTube, like everything.
Well, go ahead. I'll let you do this.
So I started YouTube with my previous partner. Okay. I'm actually going through a divorce right now. So we had a channel together, and I enjoyed it, but it really wasn't my thing. You just have to kind of like grow to like it, I guess you could say.
Right.
It's not the filming that I don't like. It's just like I felt like I couldn't really be myself at all times because if I don't know,
relatable.
Yeah, relatable. That's how reality TV is.
Yeah. So I didn't really like that because I feel like I really enjoy being myself, and that's what brings people to want to be around me. So if I feel like that's being adjusted in any kind of way, it just makes me like want to fall back. Also, I have a lot going on in my life to where it's like, oh, sit down and record. Sit down and record.
Yeah, that's also relatable, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a lot. I have a son. He just turned 10 months old yesterday, and then I'm also in college. I have a year left. I graduate next May. And I'm in a sleep program. So anybody that has like sleep disorders,
oh wow,
you go to the hospital and sleep all night, and you have a sleep study, and they just detect.
I've heard of
they
this,
look
like,
at all your brain waves. Yeah. So and that field is growing tremendously right now. So I'm in school for that. So it just.
That's a lot.
Balancing all of it. Yeah, it's a lot. It really, on top of working, I still work.
I do think that YouTube is the new reality TV because I see a lot of reality people moving to YouTube because people aren't paying for cable like they used to.
No.
And so I think in a lot of ways that people don't realize YouTube and filming vlog style videos is very similar to reality TV.
Right. It is. It's almost like the closest you can get.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys kind of do your own production? Or did you have people filming you?
No, like we did everything on our own. Yeah.
Okay. Vlog style.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's talk about something that everybody can relate to. Wanting smooth, glowing skin. We all love the feeling of perfect skin, but a lot of the treatments available are pricey and abrasive, and that's why we love BioClarity.
Anyone who struggles with imperfect skin knows how embarrassing and frustrating it can be, but BioClarity has a 3-step routine that will help soothe your skin and take care of blemishes.
I used to use the Essentials routine, but now I've switched over to the Clear Skin routine, as I have talked about a couple times before on the podcast. I've just had some blemishes that have randomly come up that I can't get rid of, and I've noticed a difference when I'm consistent with using BioClarity. BioClarity's products are paraben-free and sulfate-free, and they have a 100% risk-free money-back guarantee, so it's worth a try whether you want to keep your skin perfect or treat problem skin.
Get healthier, more radiant skin by going to bioclarity.com. And right now, for our listeners, you'll save 40% on a skincare routine, plus an additional 15% off everything on their website. That's an incredible deal, but you need to enter our code COFFEE at checkout. So go to bioclarity.com and get 40% off skincare routines, plus an additional 15% off everything on their website when you use our code COFFEE at checkout. You have a son, he's 10 months old, and I really wanted to, we've talked about IVF, fertility, sperm donors. I've talked about it in the past, like using a sperm donor. I really, really wanted to tell our listeners about your journey and going through the whole sperm donor process and like fertility and all of that stuff.
Okay.
So like from beginning to end. And Lindsie has a ton of questions, so.
Ton.
Okay. Yeah. So I really it's kind of, I don't know, this story might be like all over the place, so.
No,
we'll bear with
I like to add like as many details as I possibly can to where you're kind of like, I've been there, So basically, I started to research all of this stuff online. What was the best form of at-home insemination? Because IVF is really expensive.
Right. Okay. So IVF is through the doctors.
Yes.
And then at-home insemination is completely different.
Yeah. It's just you're doing it literally at home, like
with a turkey baster.
Yeah. Well, not literally, but
yeah. That's a common misconception.
I don't know. No, a lot of people bring that up, and I don't know if. Perhaps maybe somebody at home really has used that before. That's not what I use.
So you
but
did
the method,
not get a turkey baster.
Yeah, it's a turkey turkey baster method. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
That's just like the common known name of it.
Right.
But so I searched online, did a whole bunch of research. Not just one day, not just 1 week. Like it was months. Every time that I didn't get pregnant, I researched more to try to figure out what I could change about whatever I was doing to help
the process.
My chance, because I'm not doing it naturally, and some women already naturally have a difficult time,
right?
Getting pregnant, and so when you're cutting all that out,
mm-hmm.
I mean,
Did you talk to a regular gynecologist before you started the process, or you kind of just were like, we're going to do this?
Well, no, I think that I would have gone to the doctor if I had seen any signs of infertility, but I mean, I'm just a 27-year-old girl, and I wasn't going into it thinking I'm like not fertile. Yeah. So I just took it as if everything was normal.
Sure.
And so, yes, I did try a couple of different donors.
And how did you find them?
So my first donor was a friend of my little sister's.
Okay.
So we chose him, and then
how did that conversation even happen? Like, did he just willingly offer, or was it?
Did you approach him?
Yeah.
So yes, I believe with him, I believe we asked. Most of the time, I would reach out to someone if I felt like they were a good
fit.
Yes. Maybe there's a whole bunch of different things that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Also, who you are as a person. Are you going to be able to handle what this is?
Right,
because some people do choose to have a relationship with their donor, and that's not what I was looking for. Mm-hmm. I just needed a donor.
Do they expect payment?
No.
And did you have to go through a legal process?
We had a contract.
Okay.
Yeah, that we got notarized.
So this was the first donor and it fell through?
So it was the beginning, and we didn't have everything in line, enough research. And so basically I know that the reason why I didn't get pregnant with that donor is because we weren't doing it right. We had just started,
right.
So we were new. We didn't know what the best way to go as far as everything.
I think that's even in your situation, because you're a same-sex situation, I think it's relatable to people who aren't too, because I think a lot of people think that it's just so easy to have kids, and when you start trying, the only thing you have to do is just have sex and then you have a baby. And for some people it works that way, and that's good and great, but for some people it's a very trying process, and they have to try a lot of different things to get there. So I think it's very relatable to a lot of people.
Yeah, there's literally couples out there that try for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah.
And so when you're knocking out the actual, normal way of having a child, and I'm having to keep the sperm alive now because it's not going from a body to a person to a person. It wasn't the natural way.
Right.
So now I have a question about that. Since you raised that point, I don't think that I've ever asked you, in our personal conversations, how do you do that? So you have a donor, and what do you do with the sperm once you have it?
So the donor that I ended up getting pregnant with, I actually met him the night I met my previous partner, and I'm friends with him. He's a really nice guy, and he would come over and just strictly donate in a cup, in our restroom, and then when he would leave, right away, and then I inseminate,
Did the insemination.
So right it would pretty much immediately, so that you're cutting out as much time between because sperm dies
in the air.
And this might be an ignorant question, but how? So he puts it in a cup,
and then how would you get it from the cup into your body?
So the cup that we are using is the soft cups that you use for a menstrual cycle. And so I would just have to insert that cup.
Like a Diva cup?
Yes, but they were the disposable one. The temporary version. Not like a Diva cup you can rent, clean and everything and use it again. This one was just a one-time use.
And then you would just put it in, and how long would you leave that in for?
10 to 12 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, because and I found this method online. I didn't come up with this method.
Is just through research.
Yeah.
So other people have used it, and it's proven to work.
And if you Google success stories from using soft cups, because that's what they're called, there's tons and tons and tons, and I would read everybody's story on how they did it, and I just was okay, this is working for so many people. This is what they did. So I just, put in all this information and did it how everybody else was doing.
The first time with the first sperm donor was not the same time as that time. So you used a different method the first time.
Yeah.
What was that?
going to pick up the donation from the donor's house and then going all the way home and then inserting.
There was too much time.
Doing insemination.
Did you
too
use
much time,
the soft cup?
Didn't use the soft cup.
What did you use?
Like a medical syringe.
I was going to say a syringe, yeah.
And is that also, do people also get pregnant that way, or that was something that you guys came up with?
I think so, but the way that it works, like online, the most success stories was the soft cup version, yeah.
And what?
So you got pregnant doing that method the second time?
No.
So I had, like I said, I had a couple of donors. We even went as far as driving all the way to Florida to use somebody.
Oh, wow.
Because the only reason I switched donors is because after a couple of times, they're just like...
They're over it.
Right, yeah.
They're not getting anything out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is so understandable. I'm not mad about it or anything like that.
Yeah.
The guy that we used in Florida, we only used once because we had to drive all the way there. It was like a 10-hour drive.
Right.
And then...
Was it awkward at any point?
No. No, everybody was very nice, very respectful, all of it.
And just completely fine with you. That is so awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie, throughout the whole like year and a half process, like there were a couple of people that I asked that were down to do it, but weren't okay with not being in the baby's life.
They wanted to be in the baby's life.
Yeah, and that's
and
not
also
what I was looking
understandable,
for.
you know? I mean, I get it to some degree, but also in your situation, it's like you're looking for somebody, like you're not trying to create a family with that person. And you don't want to, you know...
Like you're not co-parenting with someone who's donating.
Right.
I mean, you already had your partner and wanted to raise a child with your partner. You weren't looking for...
Yeah, I'm not looking for an extra person. It's just... I want a family just like you want a family.
Right. So do you have a relationship with any of the donors that you used that didn't work with? Like, did you keep a relationship with them at all, or it's just kind of like you don't really talk to them?
I mean, I think I follow 2 of them or something like that.
Like on social media?
2, yeah.
And then what about the donor that you used for your son?
So the donor that is like that I got pregnant with was the first time I ever used them, so I didn't have to use them more than once.
Oh, wow.
It was really cool because I met him the night that I met my previous partner.
Yeah.
So it was just like...
it was like almost like it was meant to be.
Yeah. And then I am still friends with him on social media. He doesn't message me or anything like that. He'll like my son's pictures, but that's about it.
And he knows that you got... Like, did you tell him that you got pregnant with him, so he knows it's his?
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
That's so sweet. I love that.
Yeah.
That's such a giving thing because I feel like
I just like I've always thought about this like several times since I was pregnant and since my son has been born. Like I just hope that like good karma comes to him. For giving me such like a blessing, you know.
Do you think that you would use him for a sperm donor in the future, or do you even want more kids in the future?
I do want more kids. It'll be a while now. Yeah, you know, not as soon as I thought, but I don't know. Probably not.
No.
Okay. I think the only reason why people ask that is maybe so my kids could have
like full siblings.
Yeah, so they could be genetically like
the same.
Yeah. But I don't think that's my main concern.
Right. The one thing that was brought to my attention, because my kids have different dads and they're all different ethnicities. We had someone on the podcast from Be the Match it's about bone marrow. Okay. So, you know, my oldest son's Puerto Rican and white, and my middle son is Guatemalan and white, and then my last son is black, white, and Mexican. If any of them were to need bone marrow transplant or anything like that, they would need to find somebody who is the exact ethnicity as them. So
it makes it harder, you know, what do you call it, like the database or like the transplant donor or the donors.
Yeah. So like that would be, just because your son is biracial, that would be the only, I think, no, let me not say the only reason, but one of the things to consider too, because, you know, I've thought about it. Like they talk about like cord blood banking and saving the teeth, we've learned is like good for that too. Like if you need the transplant or like the stem cells. Like if Lincoln or Lux needed a transplant, Isaac couldn't donate. They couldn't test him for, you know, to help. So that would be one thing that I would consider. Obviously, not here to give you any advice.
No, I'm like, which one would you choose?
They can't donate because it doesn't matter. But I do think it's cool, and I think that he will get really good karma because that was such a great thing to do. And I feel like
it takes a special person to do something.
I've never known anyone that has donated eggs or sperm that I know of. I mean, maybe people do it and we don't know, but I actually, Brianna's sister Brittany from Teen Mom donated her eggs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because she needed money for school, I believe.
I actually signed up to be a surrogate.
A surrogate?
Oh, my gosh, really?
That's
I was
awesome.
going to do it this year. That was the plan and everything, but things have changed now. So obviously I don't want to, it's not that I don't still want to be a surrogate, but I can't do that on my own.
Right.
I feel like it would take away from my self-growth in these
right
next...
now.
Yeah.
Sure. But maybe, I mean, in time you might want to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's... The whole reason why I want to be one is because... it benefits someone and also benefits me at the same time. I think it's something that more people should do. Mm-hmm. And I think that since I needed help to create my family, I wanted to help create someone else's.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I was just about to say that's probably why you would do it.
Because, like, how dare me... Not that anyone's here to judge, but I feel like everybody should think that. Like, if you need help with something, you should probably, push
Return
it forward.
the favor. Yeah. Or what is that saying called? Paying it
forward. Yeah, I said push it forward. Whatever.
I have a friend whose cousin did surrogacy, I think 2 or 3 times. And I had asked her about it just to kind of see what the process was and like what that looks like. And her recommendation to me at the time, and I'm sure it would still be, is to wait until you're done with creating your own family. Because if something were to go wrong and you can't grow your family or have more kids of your own, then it would be hard.
Right.
But I don't know. I feel like I would do that. I feel like I would be a surrogate.
Yeah,
I feel like it would be hard for me just because I'm such an attached, and control type person that
you're emotional.
Yeah. And I had an instant connection, like whenever
you found out you're pregnant.
I found out I was pregnant.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it would just be a different situation.
Yeah.
Like, I'm emotional too, but I also know how to keep my emotions in line.
Yeah.
So
I don't.
Yeah, so I would just have to be like, this is not my baby, this is not my baby.
Just talk yourself through it. Yeah.
The
because it definitely would be hard. And I've wondered that.
Yeah.
If I would get myself into something that I might not
like almost bite off more than you can chew.
Right.
Well, and I think that you probably... some women, you hear that they don't have instant connections with their babies, like, while being pregnant, and they don't really get it, like, right after birth, that it takes time to, like, develop. Mm-hmm. And I think women with those types of personalities would be better fit.
Would be a good match. Yeah.
Being a surrogate, because for me, I had the instant connection all through pregnancy, immediately after birth. So I just couldn't imagine. I would feel like
that's my child.
That's my child. Like, even though it's not my child,
Would it be your egg if you?
No,
it would be
you
someone
can
else's.
choose.
Okay,
and I definitely couldn't do that.
Right, because then it would be your child, but you're essentially giving that child up for adoption.
And then you're basically giving your baby away, and there's no way, no way.
Who can relate to the crazy busy schedule where the last thing you want to do is get home and worry about what's for dinner? Everyone knows that feeling, and I'm sure you've thought about trying a meal kit delivery service, but today's the day you actually need to try HelloFresh.
HelloFresh shops, plans, and delivers step-by-step recipes and pre-measured ingredients so that you can give your family a fresh, home-cooked meal, but you don't have to go to the grocery store or try to find a recipe.
They have 3 plans to choose from: classic, veggie, and family, with the option to switch anytime you want something different. And all meals come together in 30 minutes max, call for less than 2 pots and pans, and require minimal cleanup.
I normally just do the classic meal plan, and sometimes I will do the veggie one if I'm just not really feeling meat, and I always do it for 4, and when I order, I normally do 2 to 3 recipes a week, kind of depending on my schedule and what I'm looking for. So you can get out of that recipe rut and start cooking outside of your comfort zone by discovering new delicious recipes in each week's box. For $80 off your first month of HelloFresh, go to HelloFresh.com/coffeeconvos80 and enter coffeeconvos80. It's like receiving 8 meals for free. Again, visit HelloFresh.com/coffeeconvos80 and enter coffeeconvos80 for $80 off your first month of HelloFresh.
I wonder if Kim and Kanye use the same surrogate.
I was going to say that was a point that I was going to bring up. So when you said about probably in the future,
right,
later down the road for you when you had a second child, that you wouldn't use the same donor. It made me think of Kim and Kanye because they used 2 separate surrogates for their last 2 children. And
but isn't it their egg?
Yeah, it's their egg and their
sperm. So it's like genetically their baby.
It's genetically their baby.
Kim just didn't carry it.
She just didn't carry.
I wonder why I
think probably.
It
the
makes
same
you wonder.
reason is you wouldn't want to use the same donor. I know, like, biologically, it's like
too much connection.
Yeah, I think just because it's the same woman, you know,
right.
carrying.
So it's like,
you know what I mean?
I get it. Like, even though
it's hard to explain.
Yeah, even though it's not your genes, but like emotionally and like
you'd be so invested, not just one child,
another one.
Right?
It's like so I definitely get.
I can understand that.
Yeah,
I just would be curious because I feel like I would want that. But I wonder if they're having any types of relationship with the surrogates at post-birth, or are they just completely cutting all ties?
I have a strong feeling that
they just cut all ties. Yeah, probably. Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah, I can't see. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong, but they don't really seem like those type of people.
Right. Yeah. I mean, here we are.
My aunt was a surrogate, and her the family that she cared for named their baby after her. So I thought that was really cool.
But do they still have a relationship now, or do they?
I've never asked her. That's a good question. I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's so interesting to me.
I feel like it depends on the people.
Yeah, of course. The surrogate that I was telling you about earlier that has done it 2 or 3 times, she has, I believe, and if she's listening and I got this wrong, I'm sorry, but I believe she has relationships with, she carried twins for a couple in Italy. Wow, and they still do visits every so often, and she's like heavily invested.
Yeah.
And I think for one of the other families, and then I'm not sure about the third. I could have that, whether it's 2 or 3, I think I might have that mixed up, but I'm not sure. I mean, I think it's cool that you're willing to help another family, though. I just don't know. I don't think that I could donate my own.
I just unfortunately can't do it now.
Right, but in the future, I mean, it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you feel like you've faced any type of adversity or like judgment because you were in a same-sex relationship and having a baby? Like, did people question you or look down on you, or how has that been?
Yes. I mean, I think that's going to always be a problem, just like racism.
Yeah, of course.
There's always going to be people that are homophobic, So, unfortunately, my previous relationship was both. So I was, it's either they're staring because we're 2 women.
Biracial,
or,
and then...
Yeah, or they're staring because I'm white and she's black. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you just accept that and...
You
shut them all out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not here to get, see who's all. I mean, because if that was my worries every day, then.
You wouldn't be where you're at, of course.
Exactly. So.
That being said, you are also on YouTube and in social media, and people know who you are. So what has that looked like for you? Have you gotten like an overflow of support or criticism or anything like that? Or how has that been?
So I've actually have a lot of people that look up to me because, it makes them know that
it's possible.
This is their life and it's possible. We are different, but it can still be just as normal as you want it to be. You know what I mean? And so I did have a lot of good
feedback.
Yeah, feedback for that. But I did with like pictures of me being pregnant or whatever the case may be, a video going viral on Facebook or Twitter. Or Instagram, or people will repost your pictures too on other Instagram pages. I would get a lot of backlash about like, who's the dad? Like, she cheated on her, like just crappy things that the typical people say.
That's just...
stuff that it's like, are you serious? Like,
but you guys did go viral though, right?
I mean,
on Instagram or what was it, Facebook?
Yes, I believe it was the picture of me from my gender reveal. Was when it first began, and like someone had quoted the picture on Twitter and was like, "But who's the dad?" And then that's
went viral.
Yeah, and then it also was going viral on Instagram as well. And like people that don't even use Twitter would like text me and be like, "Hey, I saw this." Hey, and I'm like, "I already know. Like, I've already seen it." Like, just the typical like.
When you probably, in all fairness, knew that the situation being what the situation was, you probably prepared mentally a little bit for, some...
I mean, and like I said, you just can't let things like that get to you. Like, there's so much more worries
your truth,
Yeah.
It's like you don't have
like, you can think that I cheated. You can think I got knocked up, but I didn't.
Right.
This was planned.
Yeah.
This was
made in love. This was, you did your research.
There was
all
nothing done wrong in my process of getting pregnant at all.
Okay. So that being said, would you have done anything differently?
No, I think it went really well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Leighton is so cute. I got to play with him when I came in February, and he's just like a really well-behaved baby. Like, he's so good.
He's so sweet.
You're like, I don't know what that's about.
I was like, I've never experienced that. I don't know what that is. Yeah, no, he's so good. And how did you guys come up with the name Leighton?
So I would look online. I actually had another name for him.
What was it? Are you going to say or no?
Yeah, that's fine. I was going to name him Shiloh.
Okay.
Even though I think that people use it more as a girl name than a boy, but I really liked it as a boy's name. Mm-hmm. But I didn't end up using it. I had that like name picked and set, and then as soon as I was pregnant, I started searching for other names for whatever reason. And then just searched because I didn't want something that was used so frequently. Yeah. And then I ran across it, and I was like, I really like this name, and I wrote it down. I hadn't chosen it yet, but then I kept going back to it, and so I used it.
People always ask me, I still get the question to this day, what are some other baby names that you didn't use? Or what would I name a girl?
Yeah,
and I'm like, I will never tell my girl name as long as I live.
Me neither, because I wanted a girl really bad.
Yeah, when I have a girl.
Y'all are weird.
You will know what my name was. I have 2 names, just in case I ever have more than one.
2 girl names?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I have a little note in my phone.
Why are girls so weird?
Prepared.
Yeah, no,
and then when I was in high school, I used to write all of my names on my notebooks.
Girls
so
are
I actually did have a girl's name picked out for the longest that I said I would always be. It would always be my first daughter's name. Period. And then I already have another name picked out, but that name would have been Blakely. I really
that's my sister named her baby Blakely.
Yeah, I remember.
She had the baby in March.
I used to write that name on all of my school papers.
It's so cute. I do like that name a lot. Yeah. But I think it's so weird how girls will you never planned out your baby's names as a kid even. I remember when I was 10, I wanted 10 kids, and I was because I liked all these names. But then I got in high school and I was I'm never having kids.
No, but I was a weird person. I was a grown kid. You know what I mean?
You weren't thinking about having children.
No, I did think about it, but I felt like I was a grown up when I was a kid. You know what I mean? So I felt like I was really being a mom, when I had baby dolls. I felt like I was really doing real life, and I had younger siblings.
So you were more into it, not fantasizing about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I was confused. So thank you for clarifying.
Exactly.
Yeah. You were already in it, so you weren't thinking about it in a fantasy type of way. You were more hands on, helping. To
I was probably psycho because I thought I was actually really pushing a
real baby,
in a baby doll stroller.
Yeah.
But it wasn't real. You know what I mean? I was so
invested.
I wanted to be a mom so bad. I said
I did too.
When I was growing up, I was I want to be a mom, and I'm going to be a federal judge.
A federal judge?
Yeah.
What? Do you still have that dream today?
Yes. I would probably go back to law school.
Really? You should do it.
Yeah.
Have you
I just literally talked about it last week.
Okay, Kim K.
I was
okay.
Go
do your
law
thing,
school.
girl.
But I already have my 4-year degree.
Yeah, but you could do what she's doing.
I know, but I'm saying she's doing it a little bit
backwards.
Yeah.
Right. You could get accepted into. Okay, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Because I would only have to go for the 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
and then pass your bar exam and do all that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Does your furniture spark joy for you, or are you missing a couch or chair that says, "This is my home"? Joybird is a furniture company that believes that you shouldn't settle when it comes to home furnishings, and they empower their customers to create a space that brings joy.
Joybird has high-quality, handcrafted pieces without the crazy price. They have hundreds of styles to choose from, and they even have pet-friendly and kid-friendly fabrics so that your furniture will stand up to the chaos of real life. I'm currently redoing a playroom for Jackson, and Joybird has a really cool pull-out sofa that I'm looking into, and they have really cool colors and just love it.
So if you want a sofa in aquatic blue or indigo, love seat in the hottest red, an inviting coral, or even bubblegum pink, you can dream it and Joybird will make it a reality. Plus, they have a 365 home trial, so you can sit on it, live with it, break it in, and if you don't love it, you can return it for a full refund.
See how Joybird can help you design your dream space. Find your joy today at joybird.com/coffee. Create the furniture that brings you joy today at joybird.com/coffee. Go to joybird.com/coffee and receive an exclusive offer for 25% off your first order by using our code COFFEE. But yeah, so anyway, I wanted to be a mom, wanted to be a federal judge, and I was going to be like a waitress on the side.
Oh, good.
My waitress name was Cindy.
What? You don't have an extra, you don't get a name. When
so no baby names, but you have a waitress name.
My waitress name
I get it.
was Cindy, and I used to like serve my papa and my brother, and they would take advantage of me, just use me as like their whipping girl, you know, like,
so like you want to be a server so bad, we'll make you one.
Yeah,
they'd be like, Cindy,
the gopher.
Cindy, bring us sweet tea. Cindy.
Why Cindy? Where did that come from?
I don't know.
I just
made it up. Really funny.
I just made it up, but I had like all the carriers, you know, like the baby carriers and like the babies that pooped and stuff.
Dude,
like,
I love those.
I never had one. My mom never.
It was
Baby Alive.
Baby Alive. Yeah. No,
I had all that.
It's funny.
So I thought it was real.
It's funny that you said that you used to actually like do those things. I never did that, but the one thing that I did was I would always make my friends pretend like we were boyfriend and girlfriend.
What?
Which is so funny because I have no boyfriend. Like, what? Wait. I'm like, no, today you're your boyfriend.
That's it.
Like, my friends hated it so much
funny.
that they would be like, I'm going to tell your mom. And I'd be like, okay, I won't make us play.
So like you would like play house?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I would play house.
Like I would
too.
be in the bed and I'd
played
like,
house.
honey, good morning.
But you know what's
I
funny
don't know being that dramatic about
Boys
it, but
play it too. Boys
They
play
do?
house, yeah.
I love that. That was my favorite thing, and I wanted to
love
play it all the
playing
time,
house.
and my
Yeah.
friends hated it.
Yeah.
yeah, I played house all the time.
Yeah.
But I
Did
had,
your
like-
brothers play
I'm like,
with you?
I am wifey material, okay? I've been practicing
for so long.
I've been practicing for years.
So wait, so back on that topic, you said you didn't have no boyfriends, which is so funny. How like did you discover that you liked girls?
So
Yeah,
I
you were
actually have dated boys before.
Oh, okay.
But in high school.
Okay.
I think I dated like 2 guys. One was like a really short relationship, and one was like I think a year.
Okay.
But I wasn't the type to date a lot in high school. Like
I wasn't either.
I didn't have like I feel like in high school people have boyfriends or whatever, unless you happen to have one that stuck around. But like I just wasn't that type. And then when I got out of high school, I got into my first relationship with a girl. In high school, I did talk to girls. I just never dated one. So people already knew that I liked women in high school.
Okay.
So it wasn't like.
But how did you know?
This is funny, but in middle school, well, for one, I always made my friends play boyfriend girlfriend.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if that's normal, but And then for 2, like in middle school, we used to always have these really big sleepovers with like a whole bunch of girls. And
wait, would some of the girls be the boyfriends?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like when we played like boyfriend girlfriend.
yeah.
Oh, the girls were the boyfriends.
Yes.
I'm like, she was like boyfriend
I was
girlfriend.
never boyfriend.
I thought you meant
that
like
is not my
guy
role.
friends were pretending to be
boyfriends.
No.
Yeah.
And so we would have these big sleepovers that were just girls, a lot of them, and like we would play spin the bottle and stuff.
Yeah.
And like
I forgot
of
about
course,
that game.
Yeah. Of course, if it lands on you, like we're supposed to kiss. Well, everybody would be like, I don't even know why we played because everyone when it would spin, that no one's like.
Gonna kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like we just got
Like,
oh my god, and then maybe, but I'm like
Same, I get it. Relatable.
You're like, I'll kiss
I'm
you.
ready. Like, let's go. And like there was actually rumors about me in 7th grade that I was a lesbo. Like,
Yeah.
it was so uncommon then. You know?
But like that's when you
And
start
I'd be like, oh my god, like I don't know why they're calling me that, blah blah blah. And Reagan's kissed more girls than guys, like just those kind of things. And then in high school, I started to talk to girls.
Okay.
I think it was probably like 10th grade or something like
So
that.
probably started at spin the bottle when you kissed a girl.
No, she was already gay before that.
Yeah, I think you just kind of
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
It
Start
starts like
figuring
the
yourself
pieces
out.
start
So did they
fitting
treat
together.
you differently? Did your friends start treating you differently, or was it just kind of like random people that were like, oh, Reagan's a lesbo?
Well, in high school is when I came out.
Okay.
And no, because there was a lot of girls at the time that were lesbian. It was like the thing.
Right.
And
What I talked about, it was like a fad for people.
so I don't think people ever imagined me to marry a woman. They probably thought I was just in the fling that was going on, just like the other 15.
And that's what I think that people
I
are
was
like,
trying
oh,
to say that to Kail that one time.
you choose to be gay, you choose to be gay, you choose to be gay. No, I don't think that that's true. But I do think that there was a period where people were doing it for attention. I think people were
it was a huge thing
to be
at my
gay
school.
for attention.
It was a huge thing.
I think it was
people
everywhere.
would wear rainbow belts. People would make rainbow bracelets with the girls' names that they thought were cute, especially the ones that dressed like men.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
had
more
the masculine.
masculine.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a huge thing. And so it was like the perfect time for me to be like, yeah, this,
But this is for real.
Yeah. And so I just think that everyone thought it was probably just like one of those things,
So you think that people thought it was a fad at first?
Yeah, for sure. I don't think that they would have ever pointed me out of the whole group and thought I would actually legally marry a woman.
There was a time where I told my mom that I was gay, and she said, I never went through that phase.
No, my mom thought
that's
it was
what my mom said to me. She said, I never went through that phase.
So what was that like?
So take it back a little. After high school, like I mentioned, was my first relationship with a girl, and it was for almost 5 years. Wow. No, it wasn't on and off either. It was straight through. Yes, but unfortunately, it was toxic, and I moved 4 hours away to be with that partner. And my mom was like, "Oh, like it's just a phase. You need to come back home." Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "No, it's not." My mom was never like turning away against it. Like, please don't do this.
Wasn't like she was trying to like change you. She just.
I think the only things that she's ever mentioned is like, people really think that you should be dating a boy, but that's about it.
Right.
And not even in a rude way. I'm just like, well, Mom, it's not going to happen. So cool.
Because I think that there is like people have this idea in their head that lesbians look a certain way. A lesbian is supposed to look.
I've even had people say that since
like they can't believe because you're so girly that you could be a lesbian.
I've had someone write on my Instagram and on my Twitter since what I'm going through right now, saying, "Oh,
what are you going to do? Date guys now?
She doesn't even look gay."
Like, what does that mean? You don't look gay.
Sorry.
That's not a thing.
There's no look.
Unless
you're just like obviously looking at someone, you can just tell. But that doesn't mean those are the only gay people around.
I mean, I think it's like for people who aren't gay, they probably think, oh, only women that are gay dress like boys or something. Like that's such a misconception.
Yeah.
Like that's
or the tomboy look. They have the very short cut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't want to wear a dress. No, I wear heels. I mean, there's nothing tomboyish about me at all.
That's just like regular girls. You've got like some girly girls, some sporty girls, some just like different types.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's weird to me.
It's just a label or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, definitely a label. I feel like
I would have never looked at Kail. I mean, I don't really look at people and be like, oh, that person's gay or that person's not. Like I would.
I think people look at me and they're confused.
Confused about what?
They don't know if I'm straight or gay.
No. Last night I was like, oh, I could get it was a joke, but I was like, I could get a femme girl, and then I'm talking about Kail, and she's like, I'm not a femme, and I'm like, well, what are you? You're not a stud, even though you don't need a label, but that's just the two.
Yeah.
But she's like, I'm neutral.
I feel like I dress like a boy sometimes, I dress like a girl sometimes. You just never really know.
Yeah,
like you would be a femme for sure.
But like I'm not gay,
right?
I'm like so many. I just
you're like so not gay, like not even a little bit. I always say everyone a little gay, but you're not.
No, but you're not.
You're not gay.
I'm really not. I just
like you're not the type of girl that gets drunk and makes out with your best friend.
No, that's not.
Because a lot of girls do that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm the type of girl that gets drunk and makes out with my husband.
Yes.
Yeah. That's how I am. Well, not with a husband, but I'm like, funny thing, not to like go all deep into it, but you know how so many people like are flirtatious or they cheat when they're drunk.
Yeah.
Like
that's really not a thing.
No, it shouldn't be. But you should be like that with your significant other.
Anytime that someone cheats, they're like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry, I was drunk."
That's not
like
an excuse.
Always the excuse.
But why are you
like,
going
when I'm drunk, I'm like, "Where's my babe?" Like,
like
exactly.
I am not like no. If I am with you or talking to you, even probably or whatever,
all about you,
all about you. I'm like, I need to go home. I don't want to be here with all y'all people. What are y'all going to do for me?
I need to go find my husband a French kiss. Like
French kiss. Yeah. Nobody calls it that.
That is so funny.
That's so childish.
Whatever it
French
is.
Kiss. That's like
she said whatever it is. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Like make out, whatever. Like I
know there's some people that are like, I'm going to tongue them down. Like
ew.
Please.
I mean,
please don't.
No.
I'm going to tongue them down. Like that could go lots of ways. So I'm like,
true.
Not sure.
Like that can mean a lot of
things. You know what I mean?
I guess it really should be used in LGBT.
Yeah.
Because
I die.
So if you guys are anything like me, you have the same 2 perfume bottles collecting dust in your bathroom. I know this is a common problem where people get into a perfume rut or they buy a huge bottle of perfume and they never get through it.
That's why we love Scentbird. It's a perfume and cologne subscription service that lets you choose a perfume each month, and they'll send you a 30-day supply. No more wasting money on a big bottle that you end up hating a month later.
You can take the quiz and get recommendations, or you can find scents you've been wanting to try and add them to your queue. They have men and women's fragrances, including 450 designer brands like Prada, Gucci, and Tom Ford. And if you don't know what you're in the mood for, you can search based on an occasion, season, or style.
I personally have been wearing the Tom Ford Black Orchid, and I absolutely love it. Actually, people tell me I smell good all the time. I've been told on the podcast trip that I've smelled good at least 3 times, and that's what I was wearing.
That's like the best compliment. And with this exclusive offer for just our listeners, you can get 50% off your first month today. That's only $7.50 for your first fragrance. Go to scentbird.com/combos and use our code combos for 50% off your first month. Again, that's scentbird.com/combos for you to try your first perfume or cologne for just $7.50. Sign on, smell amazing. So Pride is this weekend. Have you been to a Dallas Pride before?
I have.
So tell us about it.
And are you going this weekend?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Are you going to the parade?
I'm not sure about the parade. I usually go, but it's so hot and the parade, the heat is just, oh my God. But they also have the festival.
Yeah.
Where everybody's just kind of walking around. You can.
Have you ever met someone and dated someone from Pride?
I haven't.
No? Okay.
I feel like I've always gone to Pride with someone I've been with.
Oh, okay.
Never gone single, so this is my first time.
First single
so I'm
Pride.
like, should I be like drunk?
Well, then you might be hooking up with some randoms, so let's not do that.
I don't do random hookups.
No.
I can't.
I've never done a random hookup ever.
We're both the same. We're like all the same.
Yeah.
Random hookups aren't a thing. I know they're a thing, but they're not a thing.
That is not my thing.
People swear because I have 3 baby dads that I just will hook up with whoever, and I've literally never hooked up with a random.
When they don't know your life, that literally could be the only 3 guys you've slept with your whole life.
Yeah, I've never had a one-night stand.
Way that it looks,
I'm just not that type of person, and it takes a lot for me to connect with someone like that. So.
Yeah, well, I know there's a lot of people that do that all the time. Like, they just want that night. They just want that time, that period.
And I'm not here to judge, but that's just not me.
But I have so many emotions when it comes to sex.
Right.
So,
well, I think I'm more insecure. I think that's what it is for me.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't want someone that I just met
unless
to
you have
see
to be
me
comfortable
naked.
with them to be
right. And in order for me to
No, see, I'm more like you in that sense. Like,
I'm emotional.
Sex to me means like
it's a connection.
It's a connection. Mm-hmm. It's emotional. It's something that I want to share with the
someone
person that I'm with.
Yeah.
You're in a full invested relationship. It's just like I don't.
Don't get me wrong. I've had times younger that was with someone that I didn't care about at all.
Right.
But it's just awkward. Like afterwards,
it's not the same.
You're gonna hang out.
And you're like, no.
Actually, no. I'm going to go. It's just so, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want to hold me afterwards and tell me that you love me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's even more intense when it's 2 girls. Yeah. No disrespect, Lindsie.
I don't know what that's like.
I mean, I know that there's relationships out there that are between a girl and a guy, and there could be a lot of emotions. But I think for the most part, guys aren't like that, right?
Yeah, I mean,
does your
husband? He's non-emotional, but kind of emotional. You know what I mean? He's a non-emotional person, but then when he's emotional, he's very emotional. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
almost too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll be like, you
anytime
need to chill out.
when it's that moment.
Yeah.
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 Nice.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I do actually.
Yeah.
So
no, Will's really sweet. I mean,
I love Will. I think he's great.
He can be really sweet, but he can be really mean. But can't all
people?
Yeah.
God, yes.
It's same. Me too. I can be really mean or really mean.
Right. There's no nice.
There is no nice, Lindsie. No,
I'm only truthfully, and this is how I really see it. I'm only mean when someone gives me a reason.
Yeah, of course.
And I feel like it has to be a legit reason.
Right.
I feel like it comes down to my emotions. If you're not taking my emotions seriously,
right? Yeah,
I'm pissed. And
yeah. See, when I get fights about stuff like that, it's if sometimes, and I think a lot of people can probably relate. When you're in a relationship and you've been with somebody for a long time, it's they kind of know your patterns and how you're going to deal with something. So sometimes
they use it to their advantage. I feel
use it to the advantage of dismissing your feelings or something because they know it's going to blow over or whatever. And it's okay, but hey, can you hear me out?
It's all about communication.
Yeah, communication. If it's not there, you don't have nothing.
I said from years and years ago. If you don't have communication, you can't build anything.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, that goes for guy, girl, anything.
Nothing. Yeah. It doesn't matter what the problem is if it's over lunch or
huge
another
problems.
girl.
Right. Yeah.
God forbid, whatever it's about.
Right.
If communication is so important. Oh my God.
You know that feeling when you get home after a long day and all you want to do is take off your bra? They're so uncomfortable. But Third Love is determined to get you in a bra that you don't even notice.
Third Love makes the most comfortable bras and has a system for you to find the correct size. And if you're like most people, you're not wearing the right size. Go to their website and take Third Love's Fit Finder quiz and see what size you really are. And since they have over 70 sizes, including half sizes, they've got the perfect fit for you.
I'm actually wearing my Third Love bra right now, and it is the 24/7 perfect coverage bra. I love it. It's so comfortable, and I'm not so eager to take it off as soon as I get home because it doesn't bother me.
I'm obsessed with Third Love, just like everything that they have. So they have a 100% fit guarantee with 60 days to wear your bra, wash it, and live in it. And if you don't like it, you can return it, and they'll wash it and donate it to a woman in need.
Third Love knows there's a perfect bra for everyone. So right now they're offering our listeners 15% off your first order. Go to thirdlove.com/coffee now to find your perfect fitting bra and get 15% off your first purchase. That's thirdlove.com/coffee for 15% off today. I actually something just reminded me to ask you about because you were in same sex and then you had the baby. Did your previous partner sign the birth certificate? And when you say you're going through a divorce, what does that look like as far as custody?
Okay. So yes, my previous partner, we were legally married. Mm-hmm. And so, she did sign the birth certificate.
Okay. So
before I was actually even pregnant, I called the hospital to see how that whole
process worked.
If it was going to be a thing, because that was really important,
So does it say mother and mother?
Yes.
Instead of mother and father?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so
legally,
she has the same rights.
She has rights, yes. Also,
but the same rights as you?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know the extent,
mm-hmm. Right?
But I'm treating it as if it's the same because I wouldn't want anyone to pull that on me.
Right.
So you guys are going to do 50-50 or whatever. You don't have to say your custody agreement, but you guys are going to split custody and
50-50.
Do it the same way as a straight couple.
Right.
Good for
also,
y'all.
and another reason why I'm not going to screw anyone over, with time or days or anything like that is because I actually, in my first relationship, that was the 5-year relationship, I raised a little girl with my ex.
Was it hers?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And I got the really, really, really shitty end of it. Like where I would cry all the time.
Like you would be so invested in it?
Yes, where I was told to not call or contact anymore because she was in a new relationship. So
that's hard.
Someone just doesn't care about your feelings anymore because they're moving on. Well, this baby is mine just as much as it is yours.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So I feel like, there may be a feeling, not with you, but in my own experience, let me say that. There have been times where I feel like I haven't always put my child's feelings before mine, and I not necessarily would use my kid as a pawn, but I would be like, this child is more mine. I take care of him more than you do.
Right.
So I was going to ask you, have you felt that way since she didn't carry your son? Mm.
We have all been there. Let's take the elephant out of the room.
Okay, that makes me feel better because I feel like I get criticized more
for thinking that or feeling that.
Yeah.
Because while I know it's not true, I think that when I'm going through hardships and when people are going through hardships in relationships and divorces and breakups and stuff like that, it is very hard to put yourself in that, headspace where, I feel like while you were working and doing all these things, I was taking care of this child. I carried him. I breastfed him. I did all of these things. And so you're gonna see him when I say it's okay.
Well, and I will fess up and say that when Will and I filed for divorce and I was living in Tennessee for a brief period of time, I was the one that pulled the my child because I birthed him.
And it's not fair and it's not right, but that's just how it is. So I was gonna say, do you feel like have you felt at any point, this is more yours than? Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think if I were to be honest, because I do not like to lie, I think that at any point, maybe a little, just because I carry him and he is half of me.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But as far as role, as far as say-so, as far as time, I'm going to respect her and give her just as much.
Good for
Unless
you.
there was a moment in time that, for whatever reason, made me have a change of heart or,
right.
or whatever. But I don't plan on my emotions being that reason. It would have to be another reason.
Right.
Because my son deserves more than what I'm feeling.
And y'all made him together. I mean, you had a donor, but it was together in love. This was a decision that y'all made, and you guys did this whole thing. So I can respect that. I was saying to her last night, like, I don't know how she's not doing what I did. Like, I give her so much props because I feel like that was hard for me to do it, and that was someone that I created this child with. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So,
well, I do really fast. I do want to point out there is my previous relationship. What she did to me and took her from me and told me when I could call, when I could,
had a huge impact on
the baby. I mean, her daughter was so attached to me. I was there since the day she was born. I cut her umbilical cord.
Shut up.
Yes. And so you're hurting your daughter at this point. You're not. Right. My feelings are hurt.
But you're hurting her.
But you're hurting her. She was almost 4 when I left. And so she knows who I am just as much as you. I'm the one that was actually a little more involved with her than my ex because she was more masculine and I did the hair.
Motherly.
I braided her hair. I got her dressed. We played with baby dolls. So you hurt your daughter. And then when I finally decided to detach myself and remove myself.
You weren't on the birth certificate?
Mm-mm. It wasn't legal then.
Oh, would you have been, you think? If it was legal?
Yeah, I probably would have, yeah. I don't see why not.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough.
But I think sometimes, when emotions get high and when obviously you had a situation that you came from that has impacted your decision making on this. Because
and I'm thankful for that. So I've been in both sides. I've been on both sides, yeah.
And I say that about so many things.
So I feel like not that my previous partner is lucky, but that's a blessing because you don't have someone that's just, it's my side, this is,
Had you gone through that with your ex and her daughter, who knows what...
I might have
been bitter and not let her see, your son. So it's almost like everything comes full circle.
But a lot of times I think emotions can be so high and you want to be greedy. Your natural instinct is to just be greedy. You're like, that's my child.
I don't want to share him at all. I mean, it's
hard.
One of the hardest parts about what I'm going through. I do not want to share my son.
I think it's a natural maternal instinct to just, get in there.
You didn't go into it thinking that you would ever have to share him. So so now he's almost 1 and you're like, this was never in the car. This was not in the plan. This wasn't what
this week is actually my first week where the weekend won't be mine. And so,
that's hard.
So starting tomorrow, I won't have him Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Okay.
Granted, I've been away from him 4 days when I came to your house, but it's not easy,
Right.
I think even 3 days would be easier on me. 4 days, it just seems very drawn out.
Yeah.
But you've said, you adjust. You
do. It doesn't mean it's easy, but you do adjust. And I plan all my work trips around the times that I don't have my kids. So my kids would be at their dad's regardless this week.
Right, even if you were home.
The only difference was with the baby because Chris works full time. So I was saying in one of the previous episodes, he doesn't have 50-50 right now while he's working. But because I was scheduled this in advance, he goes to his dad's. He gets to spend, the time with his dad. His dad will have the whole weekend, which is still good for him.
Right.
And, but yeah, overall, you do adjust and you can make it work. And when I'm home and I'm not traveling on the weeks that I don't have the kids, I still go to their games. I still go to their practices. I still do all those things. I just don't get to take them home with me afterwards.
See, that's when you get to that point, that's what's so nice about that.
So, if I wasn't here tonight, I would be at Lincoln's practice. It's not my week, but I'm going to go. You know what I mean? So it works out.
See, I just don't... I think back to a statement that I made earlier in the episode that, like the controlling thing and not being able to like probably be a surrogate, like not that I wouldn't want to do that for somebody because I think that my body could do that for somebody. I just wouldn't want to set that person up for failure. I feel like I don't know that ever in the best interest of Jackson, because I know how I am, that it would be an option to do divorce, because I just know that like I'm a psycho. You know what I mean? Like the
co-parenting aspect of it?
I don't think I could ever
co-parent.
I don't think I could ever co-parent.
Yeah, it's not something that...
I don't know how I would get through it. Like, I honestly, I don't.
Well, that, and then you also have to accept that at some point there's going to be another woman involved in my son as well. Which, granted, I know without a doubt that no one would ever take my place.
Right. Because you're secure with yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
And your relationship with your child. That you know.
But at some point, you're going to have to...
I just don't like that. Like, they're going to be disciplining him. They're going to be...
But maybe when that time comes...
I pray that whoever comes in his life and stays is there for the right reasons and doesn't... there's so many step-parents out there that don't really like their step...
I think that they get
that secretly are mean to them, but without making it so blunt. And it's just like,
but the kids know. The kids know when there's a manipulator.
It's very easy to pick up on. A manipulator, and that they're in it for the reason of being with the other person and not the kids, but they're kind of like accepting the kids because that comes along with it, you know? So it's like,
what happens.
I will say though, in my experience with co-parenting, V or Javi, neither one of them have ever crossed lines as far as disciplining has gone.
Good. I don't think it's, everyone has their own opinions, but I don't think it's
common,
necessary or right.
Oh, when step parents do that. I agree. I think if V or Javi stepped in, obviously, if they do something wrong and they get yelled at, that's different. But I'm talking like
full-blown discipline.
Yeah. That's a no. Mm-hmm. And I know just based on conversations that I've had with Joe and V, she has never, crossed lines. And
I feel like V is definitely in her place. You know what I mean? Like she knows her role.
Yeah, she's a bonus parent,
and she knows
there exactly
to be a good influence and to like anything that she needs to like help with or whatever. But she's not trying to like be mom.
And I think Javi was the same way. He never crossed lines in disciplining. He never put his hands on Isaac or anything like that. So I'm thankful for that. But
that's good.
Because of how mature that you guys are handling this, and from what I've seen, I would hope that anyone that comes in moving forward, you guys would be able to have that open conversation. And
you're going to have your hurdles. Like it's not going to be a smooth ride.
It's not going to be a walk in the park. Like,
but that's life. That's and you'll deal with it. I just know that somebody with a personality like me, I could not even. Could you imagine co-parenting
with you?
Yeah.
If I'm being perfectly honest, Lindsie. No.
Would you just sign your rights away?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I'm out.
Lindsie would be a monster.
Yeah.
To co-parent with.
Yeah. Just because I like
in the nicest way possible.
Yeah, but like I like it
a certain way,
and I feel like sometimes people can be immature about things and try to change routines of things to their way to just like intentionally piss you off.
Yeah.
And I don't deal well with stuff like that.
Go ahead.
My whole thing is if you're my friend, if you know me well, you know this about me, is I am very judgmental when it comes to being a mom.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the slightest form not a good mom, I don't even want to
associate myself with you.
No.
Yeah.
Like I won't like you. It doesn't matter if I like your personality, it doesn't matter if I think you're fun to hang out with.
If you're not a good mom,
don't come around me. Do not come around me. Because you shouldn't put that above
everything else.
Anything. Mm-hmm. And there's so many people that, unfortunately, they put it in the middle or at the bottom.
Well, and it says a lot about character, too.
Yeah, of course.
Like somebody that's willing to go out here and have children, that if it's irresponsible, to go out here and have kids and not try to put your best foot forward to be the best mom that you can be. And it's a struggle every single day to be the best mom. I always think of things like when I go to bed, like, oh, I probably should have done that.
I hate when that happens.
Or like,
there have been so many days like that where I'm like, oh, I wish I would have just like put my phone down for longer periods of the day.
Because mine is so little still.
Yes.
So it's not like, oh, this happened at practice or whatever yet. I don't have that. But yes.
It's so dumb, but it's so...
I should have... I feel like I didn't spend... Even though I did.
Yeah.
Or you always feel like you could have spent more quality time, more... just staring at them and them really like engaging in you.
Yes. Or like I should have done X, Y, or Z better today or more today, or I should have done this. I hate when I sit there and do that. Like I will literally sit in bed and be like, damn, like I didn't get up and, cook fast enough, or I probably should have made a better meal. I hate that.
Yeah, I do that all the time. I'll be like, well, I guess we're going to Chick-fil-A.
Yes, and I hate when I do that.
And I hate that. Like, and it makes you feel like such a bad mom.
Like inadequate.
Yeah.
But you know what's so funny is that those are our thoughts of a bad mom when there's people out there that aren't doing
the bare minimum.
Nothing that we're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it just like makes you feel bad. It's like, okay, well, I have like all these plans for summer, like almost every week is like planned with something like a trip or like taking Jackson to see, family members or, whatever for something for him to do, and always trying to like plan even when I go out of town for podcasts or, whatever I'm doing. I always try to like plan something fun for him so he doesn't feel like he's missing something. Mm-hmm. And so it's hard, like being a mom and feeling like you're failing, but I feel like you're so much harder on yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard not to do that.
Yeah, it's just really, it's really hard. Like I tried to map out before I came to Dallas, like, okay, what's the last hour I could drop Jackson off with his grandparents before I head to the airport, so I have the most amount of time
with
before I leave.
Yeah, that's mine. That's one of my biggest ones, especially now, is like, okay, well, I want to do this with a friend, but then it's cutting out some of my day with Layton.
And do you feel like sometimes your friends, I don't know if you have friends that don't have kids, but I have a couple of friends that, still don't have children by choice, and it's hard, and I think that they don't understand, like, motherhood, and it's hard to maintain those friendships because
very hard.
They're not living the same thing that you're living, and they don't understand, like, okay, well, when I say I have a ball game to go to, it's because I'm going and like I'm busy and I'm, there to watch my son, and like I'm not going to miss this to go to dinner.
Yeah, no.
Besides, but you don't live near me. I actually don't have a friend that has kids.
Okay. It's hard because
maybe a couple that I know from like school, but
nobody that you're hanging out with, or like that you would be
not someone that that I am just around all the time.
It's so hard too, especially now, like with going through a divorce, like I went through it. The balance between adjusting to not only sharing custody of your kids, but then also finding that time for you. Like now you're splitting weeks and you're working and you're going to school, and it's like you have that day or 2, 3 days to breathe and kind of either catch up on your sleep or go see a friend or, work more hours.
Go out and have a good night for yourself.
Yeah. So,
but then there's a lot of guilt that's carried with that too.
Yeah, it is. And I'm the type of person, like even a night out, I want to come home and cuddle my son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't because for one, I'm not going to drive all the way to our sitter's house or, it's so late. So I just have to go to sleep. And that's my one thing is right now, well, not even since what I'm going through, but even prior, my son I've slept with him every night. And that's who I cuddle every night.
Oh. Right. So I was a co-sleeper too.
Me too, with Lincoln.
And so I've been cuddling him since July. And so the nights that I don't cuddle him, it's hard for me to sleep. Not for any other reason.
But just because you're used to it. Yeah.
How long did you co-sleep with Lincoln?
Over 2 years.
Jackson too?
I could not get him out of my bed. Yeah. Even when I was ready, I couldn't. When Javi deployed, that was when I really took the time to get him into his own bed. And then the problem was Javi came home, moved into his new house, and co-slept again with him.
So then
it's hard to break it because you know that if you break it now, like you can never decide, maybe I want to do that again.
Well, and I think that was speaking on the co-parenting situation. It's like you've got one parent doing one thing and another parent trying to enforce something else. So then it's like you're constantly battling with each other on, like potty training or, like whatever it may be. If it's not being enforced at one place, but it's being enforced somewhere else, it's confusion on the kid. It's confusion on the life. And I feel like that would be the hardest thing for me if I was ever in a co-parenting situation. I know Will would do things differently than me, and it's fine for people to do things different, but sometimes you have to look at like what's in the best interest for the kids, and you have to be on the same page. And if you're teaching your kid to sleep in their own bed, they can't go
to their dads
or, you know, their other moms and co-sleep.
Well, so that's what I'm facing with Lux right now. He's co-sleeping with Chris and not co-sleeping with me.
Okay.
So that first, so that first week,
which is surprising because usually the co-sleeping comes with the mother.
Yeah.
Well,
or maybe he just doesn't.
It's a different situation at home for him. Nothing bad.
Yeah.
But there's just been some changes. So they're using the nursery for something else.
Like Lux does not sleep with you.
No, he slept with me
Kail,
for 4 months.
Every time you send me a picture, Lux is in your bed.
You're napping. We nap together, but he sleeps in his bed.
Yeah,
like
I've been
at night.
trying to move Layton, but I can't.
I remember when we left the hospital and they were like, "Do not co-sleep. Do not co-sleep. Do not co-sleep."
Yeah,
and
they're so against it because of like SIDS and stuff.
Yep.
Whatever works best for us.
I don't know. Everybody has their own opinion, but I feel like SIDS is worse if they're in their crib alone.
I just had this conversation with another mom the other day, and with the anxiety that I have, that was the main reason that I didn't want to put Jackson in his room, because I was afraid that I would fall asleep so hard I wouldn't hear him cry, or I would walk in there and he would be dead. Like
Isaac slept in his own crib from day one. I never slept with him.
But I think that...
But that's what I was taught. My mom was like, you put him in his crib and that's it. So that's what I was taught. I didn't know any different. That was my first baby. I was young. And I was like, okay. I mean, he was fine.
But you were so young. You know,
I didn't really...
I think you just...
I did the bassinet thing for like 3 days. And he hated it.
Yeah. You try it, and it's like, then they're so close to you already.
I mean, I even let him sleep like that. And I mean...
Yeah. And by the way, we're not being advocates for co-sleeping. We're just saying our truth of what we've done and what worked for us. So I don't want anybody to be saying we're advocates for co-sleeping. But I will say that Jackson napped with me until he was 5 and co-slept with me until he was like 2.5. So
that's that.
That's that.
Well, and now that I'm on my own, I was going to like, you know, kick him to his crib in the next couple months.
But now you're like, you want to snuggle him even harder.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So
tell us what's next for you.
You got YouTube.
I made my own channel.
Okay.
So I'm really excited about that. I know that before I didn't have the time or...
the energy,
or I didn't want to film for YouTube. So a lot of people were questioning that, like, oh, you didn't want to do it then, but so why all of a sudden do you want to do it now? Well, just because it could benefit me and my son, especially while I finished my last year of school.
Yeah.
That's a lot of what motivates me to do it. And for two, I think it would be a really good, like, just new thing for me. The channel is just going to be about me and my son, nothing else. It's about us.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I think, too, you're going to be showing other people who are watching like a different side of you and the struggle of being like a single mom and going through all of that. So I commend you for that. That's awesome.
You too. Thank
a lot of people have been like sending me so many like nice messages saying like how I'm an inspiration for being like strong and do all this. It's not easy. Like,
so how can we find you on YouTube for those of us who don't know how to just like go on there?
Yeah, so I made a channel and
what's it called?
It's just my name, so it's just Ragan Olivia, and my name is Ragan, so no E's.
We'll put it in the description.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate having you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it.
All right, guys, I think that's all we have time for today. If you have not subscribed to us, you can do that by searching the Purple Podcast app on your iPhone. Type in Coffee Convos, click subscribe, click the 5th star, and leave us a written review. We hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
Bye.
Podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.